Hey guys, so my name is Alan. I'm a record producer, songwriter, mixing engineer, and DJ. And I've been heavily involved in K-pop for about 2 years now.
Hell yeah! All right. So you've done quite a handful of interviews before, so I'll do my very best to try and not ask questions that you've already been asked 100 times.
No worries. Thanks.
So, for fans who aren't too familiar with maybe some of your past interviews, I have linked some of my favorite interviews I've come across in the description below, so fans can go ahead and check up on your history as a musician
Awesome.
and like your music education and all of that stuff.
Cool.
So,
Sounds good.
we are here to dive into the I just said dive instead of dive deep. Whoopsies. We are here to deep dive into your music. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so first of all, Happy New Year. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 100%.
Yeah, same.
So
Feeling good.
That means we gotta just start off with Super M's 100. There are so many musical elements in song that a lot of fans think represent SM Entertainment sound super well. So I was curious, backtracking to the very beginning, was this a track that you and Andy Love or Yu Young Jin had already completed the bare bones of before going to the SM camp, or was it created from scratch there?
So we made the song during my last SM songwriting camp that was in November of last year. So it was a good almost a year before the song actually came out. One thing I like to do when I do those camps is I sometimes put up ideas together or just sounds and stuff like that, but I feel like the energy that I get when I'm, in Seoul at the SM building with all those writers and stuff is so different that I love starting stuff from scratch. And just feeding off the energy of everybody and the place and everything. And so the story behind 100 is I think I made it with Andy because every day, we switch who we work with. So I had a bunch of friends like Casey and Andy and a bunch of other writers. And so I did first couple days with different writers. And then the fourth day, I believe, was with Andy. And I did a couple songs that I kind of want to pitch for Super M. I mean, with them in mind, and I had that kind of vibe and stuff. But after the third day, I had actually like a specific request of this song that they had a very specific idea of what they wanted. Especially Suman Lee, gave those direction of this. They didn't give us the 100 concept, but they wanted something like Fast and Furious, vibe with like big energy, fast pace, energetic, embracing the Super M, SM sound and stuff. So I went back to the hotel that night where they gave us the directions and stuff. And I couldn't like stop thinking about it. I was like, okay, tomorrow morning we gotta get in this. Oops. See, the bass is playing by itself. That's so funny.
I was heard it's calling.
Right. And so we were like, okay, I'm going to get in the studio tomorrow with Andy and we have to, nail it. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was in my bed, like about to go to sleep. And I just heard this like, dum, 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 dum. So I went to my computer. So I laid down just the beat and the bass line. And I was like, okay, I think that's something. Let's see how it sounds tomorrow with fresh ears and stuff. And so we get to the studio. Andy arrived, the A&Rs kind of listened to that, and I played that, and everybody kind of like, oh, like this is something that's gonna be interesting and stuff. So Andy loved it, and yeah, we spent the whole day on it, and that's how like 100 came about. So
Such a wonderful story.
It was like, yeah.
You guys nailed it. And I was curious, when it comes to the creation of the demo, right? You have the track done and then one of the top liners top line it. But I was curious, for this song, since Mark was part of the top lining and lyric writing, did you leave any areas blank for him to write over? Or did you just complete a demo and then he came in afterwards and did his thing?
Yeah, we didn't know that he would be participating, which by the way, I think he absolutely killed his verse. I love what he did. But yeah, we wrote the whole song, the whole demo. We had a different flow, different rap flow that was kind of similar. to start the first verse, but then they always ask for. I did a bunch of edits for that track. There was a lot of back and forth because it was so many sounds, so many transitions, and it was a very complex track. So there was a lot of back and forth, and yeah, they told us that Mark rewrote the first verse and did his own flow and stuff, and we heard it and we loved it. So we were really happy with it. So that's something that he did on his own after. Yeah.
That's so exciting. When you guys finished the demo, was the concept of 100 like We Go 100 already there, or did Mark do any changing of the concept when he talked?
No, the concept was there, and that's something that Andy came up with like really early in the day. I think once I played this, riff of the bass line with the drums coming in, I think he just started like, shall we go 100? That just came, and I was like, yeah, that's something that could. Because it's hard to come up with a concept for a Super M single. It has to be a concept that kind of has a universal feel. So we kind of build off that chorus, that repetitive chorus. And yeah, it was all about trying to find, changes and take it somewhere else with the pre-chorus and the bridge. And so it's not too repetitive, but at the same time, that bass riff is kind of, the fact that it repeats so much kind of gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, that goes perfectly into my next question, because what's so iconic about this song is the bass riff and the fact that when we reach the pre-chorus, we have like a total textural change, and that's something that's super addicting and catchy about this song. So I was wondering if you could demonstrate the bass line and pre-chorus pads used for us?
Yeah, I have the bass sound pulled up actually. So really simple, but just addictive. And if you pay attention to it, there's a pitch bend every 4 bars. So basically what I did is pitch bend 12 semitones up and down with the modulation. So you can go up and down. So it starts with an octave higher. So it gives that thing to start. So it goes like... You know what I mean? So that makes it even more like evolving. And then for the pre-chorus, I love layering sounds, especially for like orchestral stuff, so like strings and brass. It was probably like, I don't know, 15 different layers of strings and orchestral stuff. And one thing I think it'd be good to mention to do is, and they've been doing that for a long time, it's kind of their signature thing with SM, is to, if a song, for example, this song is in D minor, so to start the pre-chorus in D major, and that modulation kind of gives something magical,
Yeah.
So so the whole song is...
It's like it opens up almost.
Exactly, yeah. So D minor, but then on the pre-chorus, that's major, So that was the chord for the pre. But it was. We had so much fun writing this song, and then every time you have such interesting chords, it kind of pushes the songwriter to go somewhere completely different. And I remember when Andy came up with that, with that thing that was just a magical moment. So it was super interesting. It's a lot in this song, and then I think the bridge is very like Michael Jackson feel with the same type of thing, So
is the sound for the bass line, is it an actual car sound, or is it just a bunch of affected electric guitars?
It's a synth bass, but that's layered with probably 6 or 7 different different sounds.
So create something new.
So it has 1 or 2 like sub, to have that low end and stuff. It has one that I think I distorted to have some high end to cut through, like when you play it on the phone and stuff. Some for the mid range. Like I like to separate the frequency range of a sound and have a different layer for each, part of the frequency range.
Yeah, you ended up creating such a unique sound, because sometimes when I'm in a certain headspace, I'm like, this sounds like guitars, or like the next one I'm like, no, it's just synth, or no, it sounds like something magical to just go back and re-listen to.
Thanks.
Speaking of like switching from like a darker sound to a lighter, more hopeful sound, Victon's Mayday is a perfect combination of like a heavy, dark soundscape and as well with like a lighter, more hopeful feeling. So I was wondering what your thought process was when choosing the synth samples for the darker section versus like the bridge with a lighter, hopeful feeling.
Mayday is a song that I received the original demo that had all the foundations and a lot of the top line was there. We added a lot of the rap that you hear in the final version that wasn't there at first because we really wanted to have all those members to be able to do that. But it was already sounding very dark. It had that main arpeggiated that was like driving the song, and my work on it was more to add additional production, kind of beef up the sound. I was able for this one as well to mix and master it, nice. Which I was really happy to do because some labels have, like SM, they have their in-house engineers already, right. That do that, and they've been trusting for many years, and they do an amazing job, so they stick with them. But some other record labels allow me to mix also the songs that I produce, which I'm really happy to do because it gives me kind of full control over right. the very final product. So I did that for Mayday, and I kind of transformed the whole sonic sound of the song and really embraced it, and beefed it up, added a lot of sounds, but it had that main dark vibe from the start. The vocal had that little, almost like a slap delay reverb. That's what makes those vocals so unique in that song. The bridge didn't exist yet, so when I got the demo, it was just empty. So they were like, we need a bridge, and I always like to take a song like somewhere totally different for the bridge. After the second chorus, it doesn't go straight into the bridge. There's that little with those big reverbs. So I kind of chopped up some vocals, added that, and then went into the bridge with that big ad lib at the end to kind of powerfully go back into the last chorus. Yeah.
Right. Do you have those synth sound or the piano sound pulled up on your computer?
Yeah, I can show you the chorus, of course.
Sweet.
So I think it starts there. The interesting chord in this one is on that second half. That's kind of out of scale. And so these are, I guess, more emotional, takes you to a more emotional place. And then back to that big, powerful Mayday chorus, which was really cool.
Yeah. Do you think when creating pop music in general, it's important to have contrasting sections like this throughout, or is it more in K-pop that encourage you to add more variation?
I mean, K-pop really made me evolve as a producer like no other genre did before, because it really pushes your boundaries. Having all those different sections within the same songs, it really pushes you to keep brainstorming on one song. Okay, what else can I do to it? Where else can I take it? So definitely most of the US pop songs, they stay on those 4 chords the whole way. Even on the bridge, they just keep the same. They basically take the chorus and sing it more emotionally. But K-pop always has those big chord change, and that's what I love about it. It's so much creative freedom, and it's so much fun to produce, honestly.
Well, speaking of fun production, something that I was so excited to find out was that you were the one who composed Oh My Girls UA's Bon Voyage opening trailer. So I know our listeners know you best for producing EDM and pop music, but have you worked on any projects like this before, or was this your first time composing instrumental music to picture or like to film?
Yeah, so actually when I was, I'm from Paris originally. And so while I was growing up, I've always been obsessed with movie songwriters, movie composers like Danny Elfman, Hans Zimmer, and I was obsessed
John
with
Williams.
them. So, So I've always loved cinematic music, sound scores and all that stuff. So I used to do some library work for Warner Chappell. So it wasn't really composing to an actual video or movie. It was just building, they have a big library catalog of just songs that they then use when they need stuff. So they were, I think the one I did was a military orchestral type of thing that they needed. And I was like 17 years old. So I was just starting to like produce and all that stuff. But on the side, they gave me a chance to do a couple tracks. And they actually loved what I did, and that was my first like work, on the scoring side of things, using orchestral sound, strings, and all that stuff. So I've done a couple things before, and then I started scoring a couple more trailers here and there, a couple short films when I was back in France, and then I didn't do it for a very long time, for some reason, and my team was working with Yuha's label on the single. And they had this trailer that needed a brand new like composition on it, which reminded me of like Twilight kind of, as far as the vibe with the wolf and all that stuff. So they asked me if I wanted to do something, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm in. I would love to. And so I created this score, and they absolutely loved it. And I actually did something later on for the same label for B1A4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was the zombie one, the zombie trailer.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Which was like totally different than, the other scoring. This one was really more like soundscape, and spent an hour just editing zombie sounds and all stuff. But it was fun. But the Yuha one I really enjoy doing, and I'm going actually this year to start doing a lot more movie scoring and stuff like that as well, which is exciting for me.
Yeah, because the process of writing music to video is so fun. I took a class in my college, actually.
Nice.
And so I know how, like, you receive the video with maybe, like, some time marks and then, like, also some notes. And I'm sure that our audience would be super interested in learning about how you ended up, like, your whole process of writing music. So did you receive the film and then any notes on, like, what direction they wanted you to take it? Or did they just give you all creative freedom, complete creative freedom?
I had complete freedom for this one, which was great.
Yeah.
But also because the deadline was like the next day. So for this, they had this trailer, and I believe the original soundscape that was there wasn't really good enough. It was, I think that's something that they had found online that you can use for free and all that stuff, but they really wanted something unique, So they came to me, and they were like, the trailer is coming out tomorrow. So I was like, okay, let me get on it. The only direction was, let's do something very, they didn't mention Twilight movie, but that's kind of what I had in mind. Very mysterious, orchestral. So I had freedom to do whatever I want, from that. But then, the thing is, you have to write to the actual video that, you have on the screen. So, and I also did the soundscape as far as like, when the wolf, like, every time he steps, you have to add the step sound, the car driving, stopping, everything.
Her high heels.
I kind of do that. I kind of do that first,
okay,
and then build around it. I kind of start with watching the whole thing and kind of sectioning, okay, this starts, she's driving, you don't know where she's going, blah, so this has to be more mysterious. Then, okay, she stops, she hears this sound, so it has to be a little more like magical. She looks into the woods, all of that. You have to really like kind of paint the picture of what you're saying, and then the wolves arrive, so it has to be this big, majestic, sound. So once you have an idea of each section where you want to be, I just look at the screen, I pull up like a piano sound, and I just play like looking at it, and record, do a couple passes. And once I'm happy with each section, then I start adding layers of strings, violin, brass, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to do. It's really cool. It's different.
In your Steinberg or Cubase interview, you said that when producing music, you challenge yourself to create something that differs from the thing you did before, and you're always reinventing your creative process. So out of the songs that have been released so far, which ones were the ones that most challenged you, or like you decided to change your creative process for?
I think for each one, really, it's a different thought process, because and that's, by the way, that's one thing I love about K-pop, once again, is that I don't know if you can really define K-pop as one genre, because within K-pop I mean, you could have a funky disco song like Get You Alone, you know, and then like 100, which is the opposite. And they're both still considered as K-pop, but they're obviously completely different styles. So I think that's definitely one thing I love about K-pop is that I feel like I can do anything. Like you can do, yeah, an urban disco track, like you can go to the house drop, like deep house or whatever. Every song I try to just do something that I really haven't done before. Like Get You Alone is a perfect example because we had this idea with Andy of doing this more, yeah, this more funky, more organic and live track, because everything we've done before was very programmed and program drums, like synth oriented and stuff. So we're like, let's do something that's more like live and Michael Jackson type of feel. So we did that. I mean, obviously 100 was a challenge because it was so much to take in from what Super M had done before, the overall SM sound, and put it all together into, plus the direction they gave me, but where I wanted to take it, and you have to kind of mix everything up and see what comes out. But yeah, every time I start a new song, I also think, okay, what have I haven't done before? What can I do next, or what am I missing from my catalog? Because obviously the songs, like, they stack up, in your folder, because not everything get placed right away. Some songs get placed, a couple years later. So I'm also looking at what I don't specifically have, and just try to come up with something so I can have a bit of everything, so that when I get a brief or something, oh, we're looking for a track like that, oh, I have something that fits, here you go.
Right.
Yeah, obviously nowadays producers, like, it's so easy to access sounds, and there's so many plugins and VSTs out there that, I mean, I'm pretty sure most producers will agree that we don't even use 10% of what we have on our computer. I mean, just one plugin like Serum or whatever, you can have thousands of presets. There's no way you can know everything that you have. So one challenge that I kind of challenge myself to do is to sometimes just pull up a plugin that I wouldn't use normally, because as you produce and as you do it more and more, you kind of start having your go-to sounds.
Right.
So, I kind of sometimes start with the templates, because sometimes it's easier to just get ideas out. You don't want to, when you're in a creative space, you don't want to waste time finding the right bass sound sometimes for like 30 minutes, because you lose the groove of, writing. So I kind of have sometime, like, a sub bass, a piano, synth, pad, like my favorite pad already laid out and stuff. But when I'm actually producing it, once I wrote the chords and stuff, I challenge myself to, okay, this plugin I haven't used maybe in 6 months, let me open it up and just go through the sounds and, find new sounds that I haven't done before.
So you mentioned that you're trying to fill out a portfolio with just like a bunch of different styles. Is there one that that genre that you haven't done before that you want to tackle next?
Yeah, something I have kind of started doing that a couple weeks ago is I kind of want to have more like cutesy girl band tracks. Which is like fun for me. I actually really enjoy listening to those songs, like Eyes One and Oh My Girl and A-Pink, all those type of tracks. I actually really enjoy that, and I watch a lot of K-drama as well. So I love those cheesy ballads and stuff like that. So for the first year and a half doing K-pop, I've been doing those like urban, like, I mean, what you're used to hearing and stuff. So this year I was like, okay, I want to do more kind of cute, girl band type of tracks. And so that's one thing that I haven't done before, that I started doing. A couple more ballads as well, that I love doing, was just piano and just a beautiful vocal and some strings and stuff like that. There's always new stuff that you could be doing. So
right. Yeah. Well, backtracking from the cutesy to Baekhyun's Get You Alone. Backtracking a little
totally
bit. Different. So this song follows like the current throwback trend while also being perfect for Baekhyun's singing style. Was the song, I think you already started to mention it, you and Andy created just on your own and submitted to SM, or did they reach out to you saying, hey, we want this kind of song for an artist?
Yeah, no, that's something that we had. I mentioned on Twitter that we kind of had him in mind. I think that came in once we were making it. I mean, we decided to do, like I said, a more organic, more funky, like disco type of track. And we kind of had like GOT7 vibe as well. But
Yeah.
as we were writing it, it kind of started feeling more like a solo act because it was simple. It was just there's not that many sounds in the production. It's just, you know, the main roads and the drums and some guitar and the bass line. So we were like, okay, it could really fit a solo act. And as Andy started doing the top line, which by the way, he absolutely, you know, killed. He's so talented. I sent him the track and I think he sent me back something the next day, and like it was already 90% there. Like it was so good. And I think once I heard that, we're like, okay, this could actually really fit Baekhyun. So our Japanese publishers sent it to him, and he loved it, and we were so excited that he decided to use it. And we didn't know for a long time that it was going to be his single. We just knew it was going to be on his Japanese album. And yeah, once we heard that it was gonna be the single and it's gonna be a music video, we got super excited. I love how funny the music video is and how they kind of, you know, tweak the concept of, you know, getting you alone and stuff into a more like comedy, you know, TV show type thing with the nerd like in his room and stuff, which is really fun. It was the perfect way to do it for Baekhyun. So
yeah, it has me going back and rewatching because it's so entertaining.
No, and his vocals are. That's, by the way, that's one thing I love the most about K-pop is when you hear the final vocals for the first time.
Yeah,
it's like, because you've been hearing the demo for months
of your friend.
Of your friend, and you're so used to it, and every little way of, you know, singing each line, you get so used to it, and then you hear like, you know, Baekhyun singing it, you know, with the Korean, well, Japanese for this one, you know, and yeah, he absolutely killed it. I think he has one of the best voices.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I think SM knew as well. That was so catchy. It's so addictive and so simple. On Twitter, I got a lot of notification of people saying, how come we can't remember Punch?